happened to me. Like I'd get a little, I don't know, compulsion. And I couldn't control it. I went to the manager and I said, I think we can get a lot of publicity. We can make the news, the TV stations. I said, if you get the state police down here to tie me to that Ferris wheel, put it in motion, and I'll escape. And he said, that's one hell of an idea, kid. And I said, are we on? He said, let me see what I can do. He used his influence. So the next day at twilight, they had spotlights, they had music playing, a big crowd, they had advertised in the radio, and they had a flatbed truck where 2 state policemen tied me with 100 foot of rope onto the metal structure of the Ferris wheel. And that would be on the outer rim, not on the spokes on the inside. You get it? On the outer rim, 100 feet of rope. And then they set it in motion. And just for showmanship wise, I let it make a revolution or two, you know, while I was kind of pretending to try to get out of this, just to build up tension. And after 2 revolutions or so, I went at it for real. And I had great confidence. My experience was very simple. Not once, not one single time, even including being buried alive, dropped underwater in packing boxes, being trussed in a straitjacket and hung upside down 2 stories above the street, being locked into vaults, walk-in vaults. Never once did I have the idea that I couldn't get out. Because if I had that idea, I'd be defeated already. You get it? It never occurred to me that I couldn't get out. I knew I could. And that was one of my secret weapons. So I knew that getting out of this particular effect, although I had no opportunity to practice it, that's what made it so damn dangerous. But I knew whatever these state cops would tie me up and I could easily get out. Easily. Of course, that's not considering the aspect of revolution. I was upside down half of that time. Not quite as easy as you might imagine. But anyway, I began to get out. And the trick was finding the key areas so that slack would suddenly, you know, begin to unwind and I could move out of it. And maybe when the revolution was down close to the ground, I'd slip out of all of it and jump off. That was my plan. Didn't quite work out that way. Because as I came up to the top, and this was about maybe in the 4th revolution, and I had gotten out of a lot of coils and knots already, the rope simply let go. And it dropped me. And I had no parachute. And I never expected it. It was a complete shock to me because I figured, hey, particularly with my athletic training, you know, the parallel bars and the flying rings, I was really at home here. I lived in this spot. Didn't work that way. It just dropped me. And that would have been it. I would have died on the asphalt that night except for one thing. I fell about maybe 15 feet, maybe 18, it's impossible to tell. And just at that moment, a seat revolved into position and I fell into it. And it hurt like hell because I was falling into metal. I was cut on my head. And the crowd went wild because they thought that was part of the stunt, you know? And I got, hey, showbiz, you know, I got down, I still had my sensibility left, I took a bow, that was my applause. You know, at the last time I was gonna maybe, you know, look at a Ferris wheel twice. And I'm walking out, I'm walking back to the dressing room, and the manager, you know the manager that made the deal? The manager came up to me and said, Jim, that was great. Can you do that again tomorrow? No, I can't. Thank you so much. Listen, two things. Every Sunday night, except this Sunday where I'll be here in Baltimore, every Sunday night, I am on Twitter. Anybody here on Twitter, raise your hands. I want to invite all of, even those of you who are not on Twitter, you can join Twitter. You can, you know, just sign your name. It would take 30 seconds to sign into Twitter. It's free, no big deal. I'm there for 2 hours from 10 p.m. to midnight, talking to 25,000 people just like us. Really savvy, smart movie, comics, TV, music guys. And I'd like to invite all of you personally to come in, say hello, and join the conversation. And it's very simple to get to me. Just go into Twitter, type in one word. I am Steranko. I-A-M Steranko. And you'll come into my site. So I'm hoping that you spend a little time with me on Sunday nights. I think you'll have a good time because I tell these kind of stories, you know, and other details along the way. And the good things that keep you off the streets, the public service. And one other thing, tonight from 7 to midnight and probably beyond, it's a warning, I'm holding my narrative art master class. Are there any artists in this room? Artists. How about writers? Not bad, not bad. What are the rest of you guys doing here? You like escaping from a DEA lineup? My master class will be devoted exclusively to very sophisticated storytelling tropes, tricks, and techniques that I've developed over a lifetime. I'm going to explain all of them, including stuff I've never discussed in public before. And we've got an AV system, so we're going to have everything projected on a screen or on the wall behind us. And I'm going to take you through, methodically, through these steps that I've discovered, that I've learned. You know, you talked about, a moment ago, John, about experiencing my work when you were just a kid and saying, hey, this is really different. I'm going to show you why and explain why it's different, because I believe that once you have this knowledge, whether you're a comic book writer, an artist, a colorist, an editor, or just a collector, a fan, when you leave that master class, you will never be the same again. You'll never look at a panel the same way, because you'll be one of my students and you'll be thinking the same way that I've thought over the last 50 years or more. If you're interested, come on by my table. I'm right by the entrance, 1501. Come in the front entrance, turn to the left, right on the corner. I still have some seats available. So if you're available tonight and you'd like to spend that time with me, I'll change your life. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Great audience. And thank you, John, for being here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you downstairs. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.